70, then that can indicate deficiency. I feel like data sets, so I think looking at the serum as well as a functional vitamin micronutrient test, they're going to test for so.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kidney Coach YouTube channel. I am naturopath Fiona June, co-founder of Kidney Coach and Kygenesis, a range of supplements designed to support those diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. And I'm delighted to be joined again today by one of my favorite guests, Lindsey Zirker. Lindsey is one of the head renal dietitians at Kidney Nutritional Institute. She works alongside Jessie Anna, and she is an absolute brainiac in all things hormonal pathways and minerals. Yes. So first off, high level understanding, what is selenium? As far as, what is it for people? And then we'll just dig down from there.
Yeah, so selenium is a mineral. And the form that we most hear about is called selenoproteins. They play a pretty big role in antioxidant defense, thyroid function, immune function. Those are the kind of big pieces that it plays. And it is, it's not something that we hear a lot about from food sources or things. I feel like outside of kidney world, we mostly hear about selenium with thyroid and antioxidants. That's pretty much all.
So how do you test? What's your, I know how I like to do selenium, but what's your preference for testing selenium levels?
So you can test the serum levels, and the recommendation is it has it to be less than 70 nanograms per milliliter. But you can also test for selenoproteins. So if the selenoproteins are low or you're less than 70, then that can indicate deficiency. I feel like for minerals, because we know that minerals are stored in different forms, they're stored in different places. So serum levels are only giving us a really small part of the picture, and then a lot of minerals are controlled by hormones. So if we can get multiple data sets. So I think looking at the serum as well as inside the cell. And now I can't remember if it's red blood cell or white blood cell that we look at. But
it's red cell, isn't it? I think it's red cell for selenium.
That's what I was thinking, but then it was escaping my mind.
You're right.
So, but a lot of the mineral tests, like the functional vitamin micronutrient tests, they're going to test for, so you don't have to know. And I think that, if you're suspicious of a selenium deficiency, like if there's a specific thing that you can nail it onto, then okay, fine, just test for that. But most of the time, if you're like really deficient in one mineral or one vitamin, you're probably deficient in others. Like isolated nutrient deficiencies are not common. So there's probably a lot of nutrient deficiencies. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's not very fruitful to just kind of cherry pick different micronutrient tests because the micronutrients all work together. And so sometimes like I think we talked about this with magnesium, like you need B6 to help get magnesium into the cells. And so like you would want to see what's going on with B6 as well as magnesium if you're suspicious about your magnesium functionality. So I think that just doing a big micronutrient test would be the most insightful rather than just one individual.
Yeah, it's such a good point. I run something called a Nutristat, which is a test we run in Australia on all my biohacking guys, and it's actually my favorite test because it tests everything, but it runs minerals. I'm trying to think how it does it. It's not a urinalysis, or maybe it is, or it might be plasma. Maybe I'm testing plasma levels, but plasma minerals. Yeah, it could be. I have to go back and have a look at what it says.
Why can't we remember what it is?
I think it's a plasma, but it is interesting that you're right. When you see minerals down, you see them all down. And then I'm generally using a basic mineral supplement, and it's a common thing to see mineral deficiencies in these people. And these are generally, my biohacking clients are generally a healthy population that are trying to optimize. So it's not like they're unhealthy with chronic diseases, but you will see chronic mineral deficiencies. And the minerals that I see the most: zinc, magnesium, selenium. And when you see low selenium, and I was going to ask you about this, you often see heavy metals being an issue because selenium is one of the big binders to some of the big heavy metals. So I definitely see that correlation. But they're the three: zinc, selenium, and then you'll see what I would call a subclinical hypothyroid, where maybe TSH is sitting at like 2.3 or 2.8. So they're saying normal reference range. And I'm like, anything over 2.5. WHO is flagging. And so I see that pattern, I would say, and again, I'm testing a healthy population, generally young men that are biohacking without chronic disease. So I'm not even talking about my chronic disease patients. And I would say 60 to 65% of them will come up with that combination of magnesium, zinc, and selenium, a slightly raised, they're not in the red, but slightly raised heavy metals, generally low mineral pathway altogether, elevated cortisol, TSH bumping around the 2.3 to 2.8 mark, and hypergesterone, low testosterone. That is a clinical pattern that I would see in that subclinical population all the time. It's so fascinating. And you fix minerals and gut and stress levels, and generally everything will move back into place by itself. Excellent. Well, if anyone out there is listening to this and they want to work with a very well-versed practitioner in all things functional nutrition, head to www.kidneynutritionalinstitute.org, and there you will find all things Lindsey. You can connect with her via telehealth and anywhere in the world, regardless if you're in the US or not. She works with people around the world. If you want to know more about what we do, head to www.kidneycoach.com. Make sure you hit subscribe and like. That way you'll get notified about any new content that we put up. I think next time Lindsey and I will do a deep dive into iron, because it's a big thing in chronic kidney disease. So we'll have a chat about that. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and that way you'll know when we put that content up. Lindsey, as always, it's a pleasure to connect with your beautiful self. And thank you again for being part of my amazing team that I get to connect with. It's always great.
Thanks, Fiona. Always love being here.
Yeah, thanks for being part of our community. We look forward to seeing you next time, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.